Hello everybody, it's me Blazing Bait, back again with a new video. Today I want to talk about the mythic weapons, which are the best perks to choose and why. And I also want to talk about the myths, because there are some rumors about what are good perks and so on, and I want to address them. So first we have to go here to the tower, to the Comes Tower, and get on next mythic. So let's see. Okay, for 50,000 gold we get the next mythic. And nice. Explorer, you have once again proven so and so. Dungeons of Treasury grow even more dangerous, and still you endure. In recognition of your continued leadership, you have been granted access to a mythic weapon. Oh nice, why not? Never heard of it before. These relics, forged in Forgotten Age, are bound to a raw power of cosmic mana, Oh, sounds good, why not? Each one carries unique attributes crafted to aid you in battle and survival. I can eat this. Their myths are ancient, their power legendary, and now their story becomes yours. You must choose, but choose wisely, Explorer. Of course I will. The fate of Legenda rests in your hands, as always. Okay, so we got 9 mythic weapons. We got the hammer, the shield, the bow, the crossbow, the longsword, the spear, the sword, the axe, the dagger, and that's it. And each of them have different attributes, like special effects. You can charge them. Like I already got 2 pair of hammers, so I don't really need a hammer. I don't need anything because I already got everything. But this video is for you guys. I want to talk about the myths. The first myth I want to talk about is the top row. The top row here, you can see for which perks you can choose for every mythic weapon. And before I talk about the top row, I want to address one thing. Mythic weapons, you can't get them with an elemental damage, with element damage, like ice, fire, or poison. You can't have mythic weapons with ice, fire, or poisons, because some people are saying like, I want a mythic weapon with ice hammer also. It's not possible. They are only basic without ice, poison, or fire. But you can have up to 2 perks on them, and they all got a unique special ability. Like for the hammer, you can hammer it on the ground and it does an explosion, but you can also just let your hammer fall and it does an explosion. You can also throw your hammer against someone and it does an explosion. And also you can just clap your hands to the hammer and it does an explosion, or just use 2 hammers and clap them together. There are so many ways to use the hammer. It's one of my favorites. It's very versatile. So let's talk about the top row. The myths: undead damage, monster damage, critter damage, sorcerer damage, elemental damage, elite damage. So a lot of people have questions like, what are they for? Like the undead damage, zombies and so on, of course. Monster damage, you see like the flying eyeball and so on. They are monsters. Critter damage are spiders. Sorcerer damage, sorcerers as them says. Elemental damage are monsters with ice, poison, or fire element. These monsters. And elite damage are the strongest warriors. So all these damages here on the top row, a lot of people don't understand. Let me say it like this. When you ask me, I would never choose any one of these top rows if I have some to choose of the bottom row, because they are more practical in everyday usage. I'll show you what this damage enhancement means. I'll show you where you can see it and read about it and learn about it. Here, the fabricator. You can fabricate a gear as well as potions but you can also get information about perks. And now if we read about undead damage, monster damage, sorcerer damage, you see you get an increased damage by 5 to 35% to so and so. And it's the same as attack power. So in my opinion, I would never choose one of these over attack power, because attack power is like, it applies to every monster, to every enemy you can get. But those kinds of increased damage only applies to a certain type of monster, so it's not wise to use them over attack power. And on the other hand, I wouldn't use attack power as well, only for certain cases. Like I would never choose attack power over criticals, because as you see, criticals gives you 20 to 35 32% chance to critical strike for 300% damage. This means, if you do the math, like if you strike 10 times, oh no, if you strike 10 times, yeah, and you get 2 times the critical hits by 10 strikes, you got a 300% damage if you strike 10 times. But if you strike 10 times and you use like attack power, you will only get up to a damage to 350%, and only if you get each and every time the increased damage by 35%. So it makes no sense to use attack power over criticals when it comes to damage output. Even from consistency, it's not worth it, because you have to understand it's the range between 5 and 35%. So it can also only be 5% or 6% or so, the increase of damage. But if criticals hits, it's always it's always a 300% damage increase. So you can really one-shot enemies, elite enemies, as well as boss enemies sometimes, if you're lucky. Because like it's like a multiplicator. And if you use criticals in combination with other multiplicators like explosions or area damage, then you get a lot of damage. So I hope you understand now. I would never choose attack power or any of these damage increasements over criticals or explosions. And yeah, this is what you have to know if you want to have the most the most out of it. So I hope I have to do it again. I hope they only charge me once. Otherwise I'm down to 100,000 gold instead of 50,000 gold. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Never choose something from the top row like monster damage, critter damage, or anything of it, because it's not worth. It's not better than attack power, and even attack power is better than doing all of them, and still isn't as good as criticals or explosions. So this is something very important you should know. If you really want to have the weapon with the most damage, with the most effectivity in battle, never choose something from the top row. It's just wasted time. I mean, you leveled 60 level for it to get an inferior weapon. This is not good. Instead of, you could choose something from the bottom row. So, and here you can also see which perks apply to which weapon. Like, some people say like, I want a sword with explosion. Not possible, because explosion isn't available for the sword. Or I want a crossbow I want a throwable crossbow. It's not possible. You can't have throwable. You can't even have what's called increased range. Or I forgot the name. See the bow. Shoot distance. Yeah, you can't even have shoot distance for the crossbow. You can have it for the bow, but not for the crossbow. So you have to choose wisely. Choose wise, as they said. Yeah, but for me, I want to get a new dagger. I want to try it out, because I already got a dagger with criticals and vampire as well as criticals and poison. You can also choose throw distance, but I don't think it's worth it over anything. I mean, it's not worth it in my opinion over vampire or poison or criticals. I wouldn't, and forget about attack power. As I said, it's not good as if you got criticals, you shouldn't use attack power. Except for you want to dagger with the most damage, then it's gonna be criticals and attack power because they are the only things you can choose. And forget about the top row. I don't even consider it a choice because it's worse than attack power. So if you want to have the dagger with the most damage, choose it with criticals and attack power. If you want to have versatility, it depends on your playstyle. If you need vampire, choose a vampire and something else. It really depends on your place. I mean, if you're far away and you're really throwing like crazy, maybe throw distance is the right thing for you, but I wouldn't recommend it on the dagger because they have a pretty far throw distance on their own. Yeah, the shield you can also see, you got absorb, knockback, distance criticals. The bow is also nice, got some tricks. Crossbow also, yeah, crossbow, it's a little bit disappointing because it's, in my opinion, it's weaker than the mythic, I mean the legendary ice crossbow with slowing and 8 shots. Because you, with an ice arrow, you freeze the enemies once and the second arrow will kill them. It's a really instant kill, you will melt down through enemies more than with a mythic crossbow. But when it comes to bosses, I would give the edge to mythic crossbow. But in generally, I would say the mythic crossbow is one exception where the rare crossbow, or the rare crossbow or the legendary crossbow is better when you have it with ice and slowing and 8 shots, in my opinion. The longsword is not really long, but the special ability is nice. So it depends on your playstyle if you prefer it over very long longsword with which is legendary instead of mythic. So the spear, in my opinion, the mythic spear is the best spear you can get, especially, and I would only choose this spear with criticals and explosions because you will just have the strongest melee weapon in the game if you choose those 2 perks on your mythic spear. It suppresses everything when it comes to damage output. And yeah, the sword is nice. It depends on your playstyle. So if you can take one thing from the video, never choose something from the top row, and don't choose attack power over criticals when it comes to damage output. But you should definitely choose attack power over any of those specific damage types for monsters, elite, etc. The mythic axe is also nice. Sometimes it depends on your playstyle, but I'm not a really axe guy, and in my opinion it's even the weakest out of all with mythics because it gets stuck in enemies. When you throw it, you can't use it, you have to wait until it comes back, and so it's really annoying, yeah. I even have 2 mythic axes, and I almost never use them because they're really inferior to everything else I have. So, after all this talk, I'm gonna choose my new dagger with vampire and poison. I think because I already got one with vampire and criticals and with vampire and poison, and I think the next dagger will be the one with criticals and attack power to have just a dagger with the most damage output. But I like the effect perks more. I prefer them more because I like to get health back, and I like to poison my enemies so they can't move. I use it very tactically in my fighting style, so I like those over pure damage output when it comes to the dagger. Also, you can almost poison is only available on the mythic dagger from all the mythics, so you can't have poison on any other mythic. And vampire is also only available from the sword, the great sword, I mean the long sword, and the dagger. So I like those. They're really rare and they're really useful. Okay, I equip it on the right. And here I got my new dagger. So I'm gonna test it out. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say for you for now. A new video will come where I test all the mythics, but not today. Thank you for listening. Have a good one, and until next time.